Welcome back to Uprising. I'm Sonali Kohatkar. Around the country, vigils are being held in memory of Leila Alcorn, a teenager from Ohio who it is now thought committed suicide by throwing herself in front of a tractor trailer on December 28th. Alcorn was born Joshua and initially came out as gay to her friends before eventually identifying as female. Her tragic story has hit home to many around the country who have read her last words. For Leila Alcorn left behind a suicide note on her social media account, scheduled to be published after her death. In her letter, she blamed her parents, who are conservative Christians, for not supporting her decision to start hormone therapy to transition to female. She explained, quote, "I feel like a girl trapped in a boy's body, and I felt that way ever since I was 4. Alcorn also cited how her parents made her see a Christian therapist who told her, quote, "I was selfish and wrong and that I should look to God for help." She lamented the fact that they took her out of school and isolated her from her friends for months, confiscating her cell phone and laptop. But after she was able to contact her friends, she found more isolation. Alcorn ended her letter saying, "The only way I will rest in peace is if one day transgender people aren't treated the way I was. They're treated like humans with valid feelings and human rights. Gender needs to be taught about in schools. The earlier the better. My death needs to mean something." My guest is Sasha Buchert, who is a staff attorney at the Transgender Law Center, joining us to discuss this issue. Welcome to the program, Sasha.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the program.
How typical is the experience among transgender youth that Alcorn described so poignantly and tragically in her suicide note?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's way too familiar. And I just wanted to say that, I think I'm personally and deeply saddened, and organizationally, obviously, and as a community, about the loss of Leila, and we mourn her loss and the loss of all transgender people who remain unnamed, who we've lost to suicide. There was, and this is unfortunately, this is a situation that deeply impacts the trans community. There was a report issued in 2011 by the National Center for Transgender Equality that reported that 41% of the people surveyed had reported attempting suicide at some point in their life. And that's just compared to 1.6 of the general population. And there was also a study done by the Family Acceptance Project that reported that trans youth who were not accepted by their families were 8 times more likely to attempt suicide.
8 times?
That's correct. Than trans youth who were accepted.
So family support is a crucial issue here, something that it seems as though Leila did not have.
I think that a lot of gender nonconforming and trans folks can really resonate with the story because we can see in our own experiences, with bullying and abuse and rejection. So, it's a really resonant story. And also from the National Center for Transgender Equality study, the single most powerful indicator of whether there will be a positive outcome with a trans person is family acceptance. So there's a ton of work to be done on this issue. I think most parents, all parents hopefully love and support their children and want to do the best thing for them. And unfortunately, though, I think sometimes ignorance and stereotyping and fear, kind of gets in the way of that. And I think it's really important that we work together as a movement to make sure that they have the information and the resources they need to support and love their children, including their children who come out as transgender.